Hello fellow book nerds, this is Gabby and today we're going to be talking about Tell Me an Ending by Harkin. So Tell Me an Ending is an interesting one because this is adult speculative fiction, so I would call it kind of sci-fi light kind of thing. It just has a sprinkle of something, but overall it's kind of, very near future kind of thing. I thought this was interesting and you guys seem to agree. The video where I talked about this book, everyone said, tell me an ending, I want to hear about it, tell me about it. And I couldn't deliver at the time because turns out in UK, came out a couple months later, but it's out now. I read it and we're going to talk about it. As per usual, no spoilers, so, mosey on ahead without worrying. And there will be timestamps for your convenience. So let's start with a little bit of a synopsis. Tell Me an Ending is a story about, like I said, near future where there is this procedure that was developed which allows people to target and erase memories. So think Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind or something like that, but on a smaller scale in a sense because it has to be very contained memory. It can't be like your whole life or whole partner. But anyway, they developed this memory technique and it's been out for public to consume for a couple of years. It's an expensive procedure, but anyone can get it and you can remove memories. What came to light is that some people experience this thing called traces, which is when you had a memory removed and now you have flashbacks of some scenes from that memory, and people have found it very traumatic. So there was a suit against the company which does this procedure and people won. So now the company has to get back in touch with people who when they were doing the procedure opted out to not know that they had it done. So you can either opt in as in something happened but you don't have the memory of the actual event, and you had your memory removed. You maybe even know what it was but you don't remember the thing itself. And then self-confidential is when you don't know that you had your memory removed. You remove the memory of having the memory removed, so you don't even know. And these are the people who have to be contacted and told about the fact that they removed their memories, and it's kind of them coping with that and the repercussions for the company and that kind of stuff. As per usual, let's start with writing, why don't we? So writing was really interesting because I really enjoyed the structure actually. So the way it worked was that we had 5 characters. Each character had a chapter in a section. So it'd be part 1. There's 5 chapters from 5 perspectives, and I think there was about 5 parts or something like that. And when I was reading reviews just to see what other people were thinking, some people complained that it felt like a short story collection rather than a comprehensive narrative. But I think it actually really served the story was trying to say. To me, it made complete sense for it to be these 5 different experiences. I feel like we needed that because it just managed to have such a wide variety of what this meant and to different people, how that impacted them in different scenarios. And I really enjoyed that. And I think actually the fact that it kind of felt like short stories, but not really because they were continued and connected, that really worked for me and I really enjoyed that structure. That being said, the writing itself, I would say, was on the meh side. There were some weird choices being made. Like, for example, in some parts, but not all, the dialogue wouldn't have the the thingies, so it wouldn't really indicate in any way that it's a dialogue. It was just paragraph with no punctuation, and it's just like, I don't like it, something someone said, but it wasn't indicated in any way, and that made it really hard to read. And it was sometimes like that, it wasn't. So like if it was within a memory or a flashback, dialogue wasn't shown, but it was really weird. And I didn't enjoy that. And overall, this wasn't an arc or anything. I had a finished copy of the book and I felt like the formatting was incredibly strange. It was the ebook, so there's that, but the formatting was really strange and kind of made it hard to focus and follow the story. And the writing was really, really simple, so I wouldn't be singing praises about it. It served the story, or it did what it needed to do. It told you the story, but I would not by any means say that was an amazing prose. And again, at some parts, I was actually really hard to follow. So writing, Then for plot, I think it was very interesting because it was a relatively short period of time. We basically follow everyone around the same time when they find out that these traces are a thing, and they either want to remove a memory or they have, and they're finding out they removed the memory, something like that. And it was just so interesting to have that short period of time, but then also we went back and forth a lot. People got lost in their memories, recollections a lot. So we actually did get a span of like many years and kind of get to know these people and the characters. Really comprehensively talked about the procedure, the consequences of it, what it would have, what impact it would have, implications. I think all of that was done really, really interestingly. And something I really enjoyed, it was how dispersed people were around the globe as well. There was chapters in Kuala Lumpur, London, America, Amsterdam, Morocco. It felt a little like Sense8. If you ever watched the TV show Sense8, it's about people all around the world and which can not read each other's minds, but it's a little bit like that. But in this sense, that it's not like that at all. But in the sense that everyone's interspersed around the world, and then somehow kind of come together in some instances, and it just feels like they're all going through similar things, but from different sides of the world. And I really like that. I really like when a book plays with its setting and people travel and experience, especially, in like contemporaries or speculative fiction when it's not a fantasy. I really enjoy that. I don't want to talk about the characters too much, so I just want to give you, a little bit of a brief idea of what their stories were. So we have Noor, who is a nurse working at the clinic which removes memories. We have May, who's a young woman who actually is getting traces of memories, so she's trying to figure out what's up. Finn, who's a husband, and his wife actually finds out that she had a secret memory wipe. We have Oscar, who has large gaps in memory and is on the run. And we have William, who is a cop and he experienced PTSD because of his job and he wants to get a memory wipe. So those are kind of the main characters, and because it's kind of structured like a short story and you only get one chapter per part, so you only effectively get between 5 to maybe 7 chapters from each perspective. It's not like a story where you like really fall in love with the characters, but I do think each of them served such a specific purpose and their story was so valuable, and altogether I thought it went really beautifully. There were some parts towards the end when I kept thinking it'd be finished and we kind of kept going, so maybe I wanted it to be even a little bit more like short stories. Characters did a really good job. You really got a feel for all of them and you really understood where they were coming from. And themes is definitely the most interesting part of this book. It's just so philosophical about memory. So there's a lot of questions, posed about what is the self? What makes the self? Our memories, what makes us us? Is that what fundamentally builds us as humans? Our personalities, is it more ingrained? And then also the implications of taking away the memories, the morality of it, the implications on people's psyches, on people around them, on having these secret procedures. And I thought a very interesting question as well, which I kind of grappled with when reading it, was like, if you found out that you erased your memory and erased memory from erasing the memory, and you had the option to get it back, would you? Because if you took such a drastic step of taking away in first place, surely you want it gone. And it's also, there was this conversation about your past self was kind of dead the moment you took away the memory, and your present self who will be dead once you restore the memory. And I don't know, all that just hit really, really well overall. Like, I don't think I can do justice to the themes here, but everything that you think might come of this kind of book, the ethics of research and ethics of medicine and that kind of stuff, it's all in there. So I would really, really recommend if that's something you enjoy. Some quick overall thoughts. I really enjoyed this book. I was surprised. This isn't the kind of thing I usually read, but I want to read more. I thought this was really well thought out. The characters were chosen well. The situations spawned a very wide circumstances that people might have experienced if this was a real procedure that was really available. And I just like speculative fiction. I don't read a lot of it, but when I do, I just love pondering these questions about ethics and morality and what could be, you know. So I really enjoyed Tell Me an Ending. I gave it 4 stars, maybe even 4.5, and I would highly recommend it if it sounds like something you enjoy. I will be recommending this book on many a list, I'm sure. But let me know if you read the book. What did you think about it? Did you enjoy it? Didn't? What rating did you give it? Was it what you expected? I think it was kind of what I expected, and I'm really happy with the outcome. I really hope you enjoyed this review. You guys wanted it, so I hope you watch it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, if you could comment, like, and subscribe, I really appreciate it. It really helps me out. But that's it from me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!